This is Art Television.
Coming up, State of Business, sponsored by
SLT Mobitel Home Broadband Online Learning Sa Working Data Demana. SLT Mobitel.
IWS Aviation.
අන්තර්ජාලය ෆයිබර් සමගින් බලකැන්වෙන තැන ඉස්සර වගේ නෙවෙයි දැන් ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ ප්‍රථම වේගවත්ම සහ පුළුල්ම ප්‍රීමියම් ෆයිබර් අන්තර්ජාලය SLT Mobitel Fiber දේශීය ෆයිබර් බලවේගය.
A very good evening and a very warm welcome to State of Business on Art Television. I'm Savindri Jayawardena. Let's look at the top stories for the day. Tax concession for startups to be applied for all new businesses. Finance Minister explains. Digital National Identity Card will be introduced soon. State Minister assures. News in detail. Finance Minister Basil Rajapaksa assures that the budget proposal of removing the business registration tax will be applied for both the central government and local government related charges. Finance Minister made this clarification speaking to the media personnel virtually from the Government Information Department.
You announce the business registration from next year. There are no charges for business registration, but there are two kinds of business registration in Sri Lanka. One is divisional secretariat level and company registration, but you not mentioned one is, so please explain about that business registration matter.
Business registration, regarding business registration, my wish is to abolish the both. We will negotiate with it and see that when you start up a business, at least next year we have to encourage. We have a target on how many new business will come to the market. So we would like to see that both registration fees will be abolished. Company registrar department is under Finance Ministry. So it is definitely it will be there. So the business for in the divisional secretaries, it is charged by the local authorities. We will see that there will be no problem for them by removing this charge. So we will try to see that both tax fees will be abolished, at least for next year.
In the meantime, government announces that the Digital National Identity Card will be introduced as the National Digitalization Program has already implemented. The State Minister of Digital Technology and Enterprise Development, Namal Rajapaksa, stated this attending the launch event of the PLC Touch mobile app by the People's Leasing App Finance held at Shangri-La last week.
So we will be introducing the National Digital ID. Hopefully first quarter of next year. We are going to drafting, signing an MOU, and at the same time, the e-gram Sevaka project will be starting in mid-November from all the government officials, government officers. So I will start from my own ministry, Sports and Youth Ministry, to collecting data. So in that way, the gram Sevaka system will come under one platform. So now we are working on the National Digitalization Program where we will digitalize or we will move into a paperless system already. Or birth certificates, death certificate and marriage certificates we can take digitally. And we are hoping to use the Digital Signature and Electronic Transaction Act. So in that way people do not have to come all the way back to the Pradesh Karyalaya or GS office to get it signed off.
A special publication named as the Colombo Declaration regarding the post-pandemic improving of children's health worldwide was unveiled last week. Sri Lanka College of Pediatricians, celebrating their 25th anniversary in Colombo last week, unveiled this in the presence of the Health Minister Keheliya Rambukwalla and State Minister Professor Channa Jayasumana.
ලෝකයේ COVID-19 වලින් පසු ළමුන්ගේ සෞඛ්‍ය තත්ත්වය පිළිබඳ විශේෂ ප්‍රකාශයක් නිකුත් කිරීම එය කොළඹ ප්‍රකාශනය හැටියට අපි නම් කරා. කොළඹ ප්‍රකාශනය 11 වෙනි මාසයේ 11 වෙනි දින අපි නිකුත් කරා. එහි කරුණු 6ක් සඳහන් වෙනවා. ළමුන් නැවත පාසලට ගෙන ඒම, මන්දපෝෂණය සහ අධිපෝෂණය පිළිබඳ ගැටලුව, ළමුන්ගේ මානසික සෞඛ්‍ය සම්බන්ධ ගැටලු, ඒ වගේම අවතැන් වූ ළමුන් පිළිබඳ ගැටලු, ඒ වගේම ළමුන්ගේ සෞඛ්‍යයට පරිසර වෙනස් වීම බලපාන ආකාරය, ඒ වගේම ළමුන් COVID-19 වෛරසයට එරෙහිව ළමුන් එන්නත් කිරීම.
Stay tuned for more news right after this break.
Connect with SLT Rainbow Pages, your true local search.
අන්තර්ජාලය ෆයිබර් සමගින් බලකැන්වෙන තැන ඉස්සර වගේ නෙවෙයි දැන්. ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ ප්‍රථම වේගවත්ම සහ පුළුල්ම ප්‍රීමියම් ෆයිබර් අන්තර්ජාලය SLT Mobitel Fiber. දේශීය ෆයිබර් බලවේගය.
Welcome back after the break. United National Party leader Ranil Wickremesinghe said that the framework agreement between the government and the new Fortress Energy Sri Lanka LLC had been entered into in violation of the powers, privileges and immunity of Parliament. Joining in the budget debate last Saturday, former Prime Minister Wickremesinghe called on the government to make a full disclosure of the NFE contract to the House.
The framework agreement between the government of Sri Lanka and the NFC Sri Lanka is in breach of the ministerial duty of providing information to Parliament. Among Vishesham Ataveni Vagantiya Ganaka, I draw your attention to clause 8, confidentially and announcements. 8.1 states, for a period of 5 years, either party shall not accept with the prior written consent of the other party disclose to any person any information. The permitted disclosures are in regard to the order of a court, arbitral tribunal or an order, decree, regulation or rule of any governmental authority. This clause excludes any information being provided to Parliament. It makes reference to a government authority, but Parliament is not the government. It is the legislature. There is no specific provision for information to be provided to Parliament. Therefore, the Minister cannot obtain information under this joint venture agreement for the purpose of disclosing it to Parliament. මං විශේෂයෙන්ම උසාවියෙන් ලබාගත් ගිවිසුමේ කොපියක් ඒ වගේම මෙතෙන්ට සභාගත කරනවා.
UNP leader parliamentarian Ranil Wickremesinghe also requested the Speaker to summon the Secretary to the President, directors of the NFE Sri Lanka and the Attorney General to Parliament over this matter. MP Wickremesinghe also charged the government, saying that the effort had been taken to mislead the House.
Then I also request you to summon the Secretary of the Treasury, directors of NFE Sri Lanka Power Holding LLC and the Attorney General before Parliament. The first two have signed the agreement, so they are in breach of our powers, and the Attorney General has approved it on the basis that it is legal. In addition to the two plants that they are doing, and also supplying the Kalanitis 5.3, GOSL through ST could enter into a gas supply term sheet as a part of the SSP. NF will be given the right of first reply to supply LNG for any other plant that may be developed at Kerala Pitiya to operate the LNG. මේ අනුව කියන්නේ කෙරළ පිටියේ මේ අයිතිය දෙන්නේ මේ ආයත විතරයි ඕනනම් ලබා දෙන්න පුළුවන් කියලා. මම එකක් කියන්න කැමතියි. LNG උමනා නම් අපි ඉස්සෙල්ලා කතා කරා ඉන්දියාව ජපාන එක තිරුකුණාමලෙන් ගේන්න බෑ. ගේන්න තියෙන්නේ කොළඹට විතරයි. කොළඹ එක තැනක් විතරයි තියෙන්නේ කෙරළ පිටිය. කෙරළ පිටියට වෙන කොහාටවත් දාන්න බෑ. Floating terminal can only go to the කෙරළ පිටිය. එහෙනම් කෙරළ පිටිය එවනවා කියන්නේ තනි අයිතිය දෙන එක කෙරළ පිටියට. ඒකයි මම විශේෂයෙන් කියන්න කැමතියි. අපි මේ ගැන සාකච්ඡා කරා. We said let the first FSRU be given to the two main companies, and once it's commercially viable, the second one can be given, and third one. ඊට අමතරව අපි හම්බන්තොට එකක් දුන්නා. මොකද චීනෙන් ඉල්ලුවා
ගරු මන්තුමා ඔබතුමාගේ වරප්‍රසාද ප්‍රශ්නෙට සීමා වුණා නම් හොඳයි.
අපිට නොමගේ චීනේ ඉල්ලුවා ඒගොල්ලේ විශේෂ ආර්ථික කලාපයට අපි කිව්වා එතනටත් ඕනනම් තව දාන්න කියලා. දැන් එතෙන්ට මේ අයිතිය දෙන්නේ නැතුව මෙතෙන්ට එකකට සීමා කරොත් ඇත්ත වශයෙන්ම තනි අයිතිය දීලා තියෙනවා. So this is illegal.
House Leader and Minister Dinesh Gunawardena, replying to the questions, said the government was willing to disclose the issue with the party leaders and the relevant information would be provided to the House at the same time. He pointed out that the good governance regime too did not show a single agreement to the House when they were in power.
Party leaders, special party leaders meeting, we can have a special party leaders meeting. It is good that you are raising. After all, we did not see any of the agreements that you all signed. This House was never placed with any of the agreements that have signed by the last government. We are ready to discuss and show the Honourable former Prime Minister and the party leaders the present position on behalf of the government. Sir, thank you. Sir. Thank you. Sir, Prime Minister raised. Let us not argue on the issue. You have raised a privilege matter. Go on the privilege issue.
Yes. That this agreement violates the privileges, powers and immunities of this House. That's all that you can rule on. Thereafter, if you say it violates it, then it's an illegal contract. You have to come into a new contract. I only want
exactly
the
that is what the honourable
rights of the House. Secondly, I led to the fact that we've been told there is no monopoly. But I pointed out to you
up at a debate.
what to do. So, party leaders are all right, but if any other member wants to express their views, you may have to have a session of the House. So that we can decide later. I don't mind. Once Mr. Sumandran comes, we'll decide whether the party leaders can decide whether they meet or the House meets. Because some of these people who want to speak are not members of the registered party on which they contested. So they may also want to give their views.
Stay tuned for more news right after this break.
SLT Mobitel Home Broadband data balance එක බලා ගන්න, extra GB මිලදී ගන්න, දුරකථන දෝෂ වාර්තා කරන්න දැන් හරිම ලේසි. My SLT app එක භාවිතා කරන්න නැත්නම් 0112121212 SLT Mobitel ස්වයංක්‍රීය සේවාවට පිවිසෙන්න.
Connect with SLT Rainbow Pages, your true local search.
Welcome back after the break. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a mixed note today. The all-share price index gained 86.28 points to close at 10,752.82 and the S&P SL20 dropped 17.57 points to close at 3,598.38. The turnover was 6.9 billion rupees and over 316 million shares were traded. Up next are Forex trades. With that, we'll be signing out for today. See you tomorrow with State of Business at the usual time. Until then, take care and good night.
State of Business was sponsored by
SLT Mobitel Home Broadband Online Learning සහ Working Data දීමනා SLT Mobitel.
I